Have a good day, sir. Mm-hmm. Ask him about his haircut. Who's your stylist?
All right, let's start with John.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for your time. Could you walk us through a little bit during the break? Do you guys have any practices, or is it a couple weeks off and then practice? How does that work?
Well, traditionally, I've given the players at least 2 weeks off, and that will be no exception this time. I'm looking at the 1st of August, 2nd of August to come back into town. We have a couple days of quarantine stuff we have to go through. It also depends on whether we're a cup team or not. We have to get some help here for us to get a chance to play that cup game. If not, it's another 2 days in the backside. But we're only going to have 5 or 6 players here because the rest of them are in the Olympics. So practice is going to be a little bit difficult unless we can have guys, a lot of one-on-one stuff and things like that. But I'll probably give them a good 17 days off. Hopefully, they'll stay in individual shape, but there's no reason to be around here.
Thank you, Coach.
Rafiq?
Coach Laimbeer, you've been coaching against Diana Taurasi for years. What can you tell me about how you've been studying her game in order for your team to actually be successful when win against her, since you're going up against the Phoenix Mercury tomorrow?
Well, she can do a lot of different stuff at a lot of different times. She's always historically played very well against my team. She likes playing against me. She dropped 25.5 last year in the bubble and won the game for him. So, she can shoot, she can score in many different ways. She can lead, especially. Obviously her career is winding down, but she's still a very, very solid player. If she gets rolling with that shot, especially from the 3-ball line, it's a problem child. So, we're working on some things to try to, limit her. You can't stop her. Just got to limit her opportunities to dominate the game.
And not to mention, she had some difficult weapons last year during the offseason with Kia Nurse coming on the team. What are some of the ways you guys are preparing for the upcoming match? I mean, it's probably the same question I asked earlier, but
it starts with Griner and Taurasi as their number 2. Then you got Diggins, who's very capable. Nurse is still trying to find her way and how she fits in that lineup. But if we're a pretty deep team. We want to get into bench. We want to play bench versus bench. I think that's one of our plans is to really push the ball and tire their starters out so they have to go to the bench so we can try to come in and take advantage of that one. We'll see how it all works out.
Kareem?
Hey, Bill. Kareem from the Washington Post. I want to ask kind of a league question. After you guys, after you in Seattle in the standings, it's pretty bunched up between 3 and 11. And I've just been asking a lot of people about the parity in the league this year. And it seems like a lot of people either point to either injuries or just an overall increase in talent or some of the offseason moves. I'm just curious, from your perspective, what have you noticed about the parity in the league this year?
Well, there was a lot of player movement around the team. It takes a while to understand, and it's always going to be injury. It's always going to be that aspect of the game. We have a significant injury ourselves in Angel McCautry. So the bug, hits everybody. I just think that, there's a lot of good players. Depends on coaching, how the style of play you play with the talent that you have. Some teams, try to put square peg round hole. Some teams figure it out earlier than not. We had a good handle on who we were coming in, even though we changed our entire roster for the most part. We know who we are and what we're about, and we have very talented and we're deep. We utilize our bench a lot, where a lot of teams don't utilize their bench. So a lot of factors go into it. I think that there's, as after the next 3 games, you're going to see a little bit more separation, I think, from, the tops to the middles to the bottoms. It's just the way this league is right now.
And you touched on it real quick, and you mentioned what you guys are going to do during the break, but I'm curious, what's the biggest key to keeping that momentum on the other end of it?
I don't know. Staying healthy with the people who are playing in the Olympics. We're a pretty smart basketball team. We're very simple how we do business, so I don't anticipate any mental deterioration of any magnitude. And then it becomes physical. Because you haven't played any games. All the Olympians have, obviously, but the others have not. So we're going to have to find a way to get conditioning and game conditioning for them before we all come together. We're going to have like 3 days of practice together before we play. So we're really going to put a premium on being in shape.
Perfect. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Coach. You are free to go, and we'll be back momentarily with De'Erica Hamby. She'll be here in just a minute.